Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Chet here from Avion Technology here in the Chicagoland area. We are a web design company. We are a digital agency that works with other digital agencies to help scale them up, make them profitable, turn them around. We also work with a lot of other small businesses to give them a really solid digital presence. So in this series for the last 3 months, I've been taking one sector, one industry, and then kind of breaking down a good website for that industry. And in the next video, I'll talk about good marketing practices for that industry. So this video is about veterinarians, right? Veterinarians, 40 years back, no one wanted to be a veterinarian. Now it's one of the most highly paid professions, right? As our love for animals increases, I just read somewhere like 100 years back, no one used to have like pet dogs in their house. They used to be farm animals, but no one used to have very few people actually used to have dogs in their house. So all of this trend started right after like World War II, when America became more industrialized, and that's when as people's income started kind of going up, they started feeling, I guess, more lonelier. I don't know what the actual reason was, but dogs have always existed as pets, but usually they used to be out in the farms or out in the open. Actually, having dogs at home is a very recent phenomenon, maybe in the last 50, 100 years. So what has happened, since pets have come into our house? Well, they've actually become family members, and then like all family members, they become sick, so they need to go to the ER. I remember actually my dog, he swallowed I think it's called a scrunchie or something. Like my wife puts it on her hair, and we had to rush my dog to the ER because we thought that that would not be able to go through his digestive tract, and then that would be an emergency, right? So we actually took my dog to the ER, and they induced him to throw up, and that's how they got that little scrunchie back. But it's weird, right? How animals, pets have become such an integral part of our living, so much that we now have ERs and stuff for pets. So my point is that vets are extremely important, and this is not something that's going to go down. This is just going to keep on going up. I think we'll soon come to a time when we have just 2 human family members, but about 4 pets in everyone's house. So if you are someone who's choosing between becoming a doctor versus a vet, I would say be a vet. Chances are that in the next 10 years, you'll be paid better than a doctor. If money is the only reason why you're doing it, there's a million other reasons besides money why you might want to do something, but just in case. Okay, so first, these are like websites that I've liked. You can check them out. Their description is below in the description section, so you will find all of these URLs there, right? Whom is this video for? It's for agencies who have maybe just signed on a new client who's a veterinarian, and they're like scratching their heads in terms of what are good design ideas. Or you could be a vet yourself, your site's old, it's 10 years old, and you're looking for a rejig. So give us a shout. BluePearlVet.com, I like the site, it's extremely sleek. Again, sleek sells. We like things which are sleek. Think about sleek cars, sleek yachts, right? Anything which is sleek resonates of modernity, sophistication, professionalism. All these things are associated with sleekness. So sleekness sells. BluePearlVet.com. Next is VCAHospitals.com. It's user friendly. That's why I chose this one. User friendliness is again something which sells. I always give the airport analogy. If you've seen my past videos, if you take 2 airports, one with a lot of signs and the other where people are like looking around, struggling where to go. The one where there's a lot of signs and where there's a lot of structure is the airport, which ends up attracting more traffic, right? So your website is almost like an airport. You have to guide your user's experience. Next is Banfield.com. I like this one for the clean design. The site has a clean design. Clean in my opinion. Even when I see a person who is looks clean, well dressed, well groomed, the first thing I think about is confidence, right? That this guy is confident. This gal is confident. So a website which is clean, in my opinion, is a confident website. And again, confidence is something which sells. Next is PetSmart.com. I liked it for the intuitive nav. Nav section is probably the most important section of your site. If you have a nav which is not well thought about, it's kind of placed somewhere where no one knows what the heck to do with it or where the heck it is, you're suddenly, your website's usability goes down like incredibly if you don't have a good nav. The next is the pethealthnetwork.com. Chosen for its user experience. What is a user experience? So here's the funny thing. What is UI and what is UX, right? UI is the user interface, right? And UX is the user experience. So UI is what you see and UX is what you feel. Very important. So looking at a site, you should feel good. I always say the best feeling in the world is the warm fuzzy feeling, right? And when someone looks at your website, you should get the warm fuzzy feeling. That's your skill as a UI UX person, is how to make the viewer, how to make the user get that warm fuzzy feeling. So this site gave me that, pethealthnetwork.com. Next is amcseattle.com. I chose it because it looked professional. Next one was the catpractice.com. I chose it for its distinctive design, right? Again, distinctiveness stands out. If you're in a party with 30 people, everyone looks the same, no one stands out. If you're in a party with 30 people, few people are distinctive, they are going to be the life of the party. We live in an extremely cluttered world. There's a lot of cluttered websites. So if your website is kind of just like everyone else, then it's not going to make the cut. But if your website has personality, then your website is going to stand out, right? Next is vet.cornell.edu. I just like this because it's well organized. Again, as you can see, there's some common themes, clean website, well organized website, uncluttered website, sleekness. Some common themes in here that you can incorporate in your website. Here at Avion, we've helped small businesses, so veterinarians are among them, design and develop good websites. Why do you need a website? I don't need to tell you this in 2024, but you definitely need a good website. What has happened, right, in the past 10 years? If you remember 20 years back when websites were not that prevalent, most businesses, especially if they were like these kind of businesses which operate within a neighborhood, so these are like the traditional tradespeople, right? Traditional services, right? So since time immemorial, you've had doctors, you've had lawyers, you had CPAs, you had HVAC people, you had plumbers, you had carpenters, you had all these different professions, and they used to be located in a geography, right? They used to be located in a village, in a city, in a neighborhood in a city. So these are those kind of businesses, right, which have a very strong geographical bias to them. So what used to happen with them is that typically the word of mouth used to be restricted to that community, right? So if there was a good barber in my area, I went to him, I liked the haircut, I used to go and tell my neighbor, right? And my neighbor used to go to that person. So the word of mouth, what we call the network effect, used to usually be restricted to that geography or for a particular community, right? What has happened since the advent of the internet is now with things like Yelp and Google reviews, we kind of go looking for who's the best in the trade, right? So if there's a veterinarian but he's half an hour away but he has spectacular Google reviews, he's known for his or her service, I'm going to drive half an hour away to get that. So the geographical bias is now not as strong. It's definitely strong, but it's not as strong, right? So the way people kind of judge you, and it's a little bit of judging the book by the cover, I understand and I agree with it, but the way people judge you these days is by your website, right? I always give the networking analogy in all my videos, so this is no exception. But what happens is that if you go for a networking event, first of all, first impressions count, right? I do not agree when people say that it's first impressions. I don't think everything is about the first impression, but I don't agree that first impression doesn't mean anything. I think first impressions count because we have something, we have our subconscious, and our first impression is usually stored as some kind of a latent memory in our subconscious, right? So the first time you see someone, the first time you talk to someone, I think that definitely creates some kind of a memory in your subconscious that does stay, right? It would be a fallacy to think that subconscious memory doesn't count. But at the same time, delivery counts as well, right? So you could have the best website and it could be the best addressed doctor, but if all your patients are dying, then that doesn't mean anything, right? But at the same time, if you're a really good doctor, but you dress like a slob and your website sucks, well, it's going to definitely cause you some level of reputational damage, right? So I think that everyone needs a really good website, because especially for professions where there's some kind of subject matter expertise. And what is subject matter expertise, right? Subject matter expertise is where someone has gone to like doctors, right? They've been to school for 10 years after their undergrad, right, just to be a doctor. Or lawyers, right? They've gone to law school and then they've done, I think it's called a clerkship or something. So they've been in school for a long time. I mean, even tradespeople, right? They do apprenticeship for 10 years before they get, they get the if not the license, but the confidence to work, right? So all of these are specialist professions. And in specialist professions, you need a website, because people come to that website to check out your experience, to check out your awards, to check out your expertise, to check out your credentials, to check out your schooling. All these different things are showcased on your website. So if you're in any of these specialist professions where subject matter expertise counts, you definitely need a website, and a really good looking website, and a really good looking website with an about us section, a biography, with with a portfolio, with all the different services you offer, maybe a glimpse of all the different awards that you've won in the community. So all of these things count, because someone is going to Google best veterinarian in the northwest suburbs, and your name's going to pop up in the first 3 or first 5. Then they're going to go to your Google page and see your Google reviews and your Yelp reviews, and those are going to be pretty awesome. So they're going to come to your website, and your website's amazing. And when they have checked these couple of boxes, that's when they're going to give you a call and say, hey, my dog needs a couple of shots, do you have any openings next week? Right? That's the whole process. So a website has become part of that selling process. A website is your salesperson, and if that website is sucky, then that's one box which does not get checked, and sometimes that's definitely something that will not work in your favor. So do think about it. If your website is old, 10 years plus, even 5 years plus, give us a shout. We'd definitely love to help you out. And keep your website updated. Make sure you're reading the Google Analytics. Make sure you're seeing the trends, or seeing the searches at least once a month, and just making sure that you have all the antivirus, malware protection in place. Sum and substance is that there used to be a time when you could be a technophobe and be proud about it, right? I remember when I was working in New York back in 2004, there was a lawyer that I had met, and he proudly told me that he does not have a website. He never plans to have one because he said he's a lawyer, and which lawyer needs a website, right? But 20 years now, 20 years hence, I don't know what that lawyer is doing now, but if someone walked up to me today and said that they don't need a website, I would be amazed, right? Because that's just not how the world works anymore. So just like you need to know a little bit of, if you're a small business owner, you need to know a little bit of the law, you need to know a little bit of finance. So similarly, I think you need to know a little bit of technology, right? You cannot, as a small business owner, or or someone who's operating in a non-tech area, you do not have the luxury in 2024 to say, I don't know anything about tech, right? You need to know tech a little bit. So what do you need to know, right? Basic stuff, like a WordPress website. If you can create a Wix or a WordPress website, you're better than 90% of the folks out there, right? If you can understand basic HTML, you're better than 95% of the people out there. If you know basic SEO, you're better than 99% of the people out there, right? So just the basic stuff. How to create a WordPress website, how to create a Wix website, how to create a Squarespace website, right? How to do basic SEO. What are meta tags, what is meta title, what is meta description, what are alt tags, right? What's like basic cybersecurity, what's the basic protections that I need for my small business, so stuff like that. So if you know all that, then it's definitely helpful. So again, it's a long video, but I personally feel that running a small business is hard. I've been doing it for the last 20 years. It's like being on a treadmill. It's like a hamster on a treadmill. You've got to just keep going every day. And your website should not be one of those things that gets you down. It should, in fact, it should be a business enabler, not a business disabler. So it should be something that helps you, not hinders you, right? So Chet here from Avion Technology in the Chicagoland area. I hope you like this video. If you did, press the like button. If you want to subscribe, and get notified every time, click on the bell icon, and you get notified every time we upload a video. If you want to subscribe, that would be even better. These are my coordinates, by the way, so give us a shout if you need any assistance. Like I always say, it's not just about business. Business comes, but if you want to have a conversation, if you have a project, you need a consult, you need some brainstorming, give us a shout. We would be more than happy to work with you. Chet here from Avion Technology. Thank you so much. And today is Thursday, so one more day, Friday, and then off to the races. Thank you so much, and I hope you have an awesome rest of the week. Thanks. Bye bye.